Detroit Pistons basketball is back. Bobi Klintman and Ron Holland made their Summer League debuts today. We'll be back in just a moment to recap Detroit's first Summer League game versus the 76ers.
Lane, skies a jam. Dynamite dunk and the crowd loves it.
Welcome back to Pistons Intellect. I'm your host, Jack Kelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack_Kelly_3on3. You can also follow us over on Instagram at Pistons_Intellect. And if you're feeling so kind, please hit that subscribe button. Now, for today's show, I said I was going to do game recaps for at least the first 2 to 3 Pistons Summer League games in Las Vegas. And today we got our first glimpse of the Detroit Pistons rookies Bobi Klintman and Ron Holland II, as well as Marcus Sasser, who also played today, and a couple of other guys. But Detroit lost. I'm not too concerned with results in these games, but the Pistons did lose to Philadelphia 94-81 in a game that was kind of close up until the last 2 minutes. And I think where I want to start with this one is just how impressive Bobi Klintman looked. For those that don't know, I watched Bobi Klintman's entire season with the Cairns Taipans in the NBL this past season here in Australia. I covered a lot of his games, or did the socials for a lot of his games with the NBL. And the way he played tonight was kind of like what we saw a lot here in Australia, just in terms of his jump shot being really smooth and legit. He finished with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. But yeah, as I said, the jumper and kind of his defense and some of the rebounding is stuff we saw down here in his season last year with the Cairns Taipans. But to see him come out tonight, first game, shoot 5 of 10 from the field, and then knock down 3 of 7 threes was really impressive. He looked really comfortable. And then the thing that stood out to me the most was the passing. He had 5 assists, only 1 turnover, which I think came towards the end of the game. But it was the passing reads he made, just smart ball moving assists. It wasn't like he was creating off the dribble or anything. He just played within the game. He made cuts and found cutting teammates as well. His first assist came to Ron Holland in the first quarter, where Bobi kind of cut to the elbow, got the ball, and then dished it off to Ron for like a floater. And it was just a lot of those little passes in and around the painted area, or he found a shooter once in the corner for a 3. So just in like semi-transition. So the passing to me really stood out, and he really looked like the prototypical 4 you would want in today's NBA. And this is just Summer League, but I'm not saying he's in the rotation day one. It's just I was really encouraged, and because the things I was a little bit worried about with Bobi is probably his just speed and athleticism. It's not that he's slow or anything, but compared to NBA level athletes, he's not like the most bouncy, and I don't think he's going to be necessarily a guy that creates off the dribble or anything like that. He's going to shoot threes, and then that's why the passing really impressed me, because he just showed an ability to kind of make passes in traffic and find cutting teammates, even if he was just stationary himself. So really good debut from Bobi Klintman. I know a lot of fans were loving watching him play, and jump shot just looks so smooth. I love watching him shoot the ball, and it's fitting his first shot was a pull-up 3. So now to the other Pistons rookie, Ron Holland. Bit of an up and down game for Ron. He finished with 15 points, 7 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of blocks, 1 steal, in a real kind of stat sheet stuffing game. Did a little bit of everything. I was impressed with his defensive rebounding, to be honest, the most in this, as well as his just overall intensity and work ethic. I reckon he hit the ground 10 times, constantly on the ground, flying for loose balls, trying to make steals, trying to make plays. And that was encouraging to see in his first game. But I think as well, he hit a nice mid-range jumper. He got to the free throw line 6 times. So that's going to be something that is going to need to be a heavy feature in his game as a rookie for him to get points. So that was encouraging. But 5 of 15 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Like I said, he hit 1 jumper in the mid-range. But yeah, a lot of his misses were at the rim, missed layups, or just not even missed layups. Like they were shots he probably shouldn't take, or he just needs to get stronger, I would say. And then there's a couple of forced drives where he's just a bit out of control. And I think he will regain that control as he adds strength to his upper body and his legs. But yeah, like I said, this is like Jaden Ivey struggled in summer league last year. I don't know. I'm not, especially rookies at summer league. Like I'm not really too concerned. I think it was nice to see him have some nice defensive moments, get to the free throw line, rebound the ball, and then, as I said before, just kind of have a couple of blocks, get a steal, just make some disruptive plays on the defensive end. Because as a rookie, I don't want him starting. I don't want him being relied on as a sixth man. I want him being like the 8th to 10th man who, comes in for 10 to 15 minutes a night with their energy. And if he's playing really well, he plays 20 plus minutes. And I think that's the role for him as a rookie, just because there's still a lot for him to work on. But I was still pretty impressed. And it was really just the third quarter he struggled the most. I thought his first half was decent. It was the third quarter he had a lot of those forced drives, and it was good to see him in the fourth quarter actually get to the free throw line and get those points and play a little bit more controlled. He only played like 4 or 5 minutes in that fourth quarter, maybe even less, but still good to see him close strong after a bit of a shaky third. So let me know your thoughts on both the rookies. As I said, I think Bobi Klintman was a standout in terms of expectation versus performance. Ron Holland, honestly, probably was what I expected. I probably wasn't expecting him to struggle as much on drives, but it's his first game. Like in the summer league, we saw Victor Wembanyama struggle in his first game last year. So I wouldn't be taking any huge takeaways from this. I think it was just nice to see him introduced to us as fans and get his first taste of action. So let me know your thoughts on those two. The next rostered Piston player I want to get to is Marcus Sasser. Yeah, this was rough game for him. 1 point, 4 assists. And to be honest, you wouldn't have known he's a 24-year-old first-round pick entering his second season. I thought, like, he played nearly 30 minutes as well. Guys like Marcus Sasser are meant to come into summer league at this point of their career, score 20 points. Or it's not about the amount of points, but just look like, be efficient and just look like they shouldn't be out there. And he really struggled. 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4, scored 1 point at the line. And to be honest, just had a lot of those tendencies where I love his dribble package. Like, I think that's something, his step back and that kind of thing, that can be a weapon at the NBA level. And I think we've seen that. But when the shot's not falling, there's a lot of dribbling, not really going anywhere. And he does get assists, but I think that's more by nature of him playing 30 minutes at the point guard position, as opposed to him kind of creating a heap of good looks. And they even noted on the broadcast that down the stretch, the Pistons point guard play just let them down. They didn't say Marcus Sasser, but they said Philly just had much better playmaking down the stretch. And yeah, I think that Sasser's lack of kind of pure playmaking is a concern for this team. And you kind of saw this team fall apart. And I think that's why a lot of fans have reservations as him as a backup point guard. I think everyone does. I don't think it's even a slight on Sasser, the player. I think he is an undersized 2 guard. But yeah, if he's going to be the Pistons backup point guard day one, he's going to need to really step it up in these next few games and over the summer, because yeah, pretty disappointing showing from him. And then finally, just a quick update on Ausar Thompson. They had Trajan Langdon on the broadcast and just spoke a lot about the team. A lot of stuff I've already heard, but he did have an update on Ausar, who obviously isn't at Summer League. He's back training full with the team. They just didn't want to throw him out there too early, especially after the health scare he had. Probably no need for him to be at Summer League, but Langdon noted that Ausar's been in the gym every day working with Fred Vinson. So that's exciting. I mean, we expect that, but just to hear that he's in there every day working on that jumper is exciting, because I tweeted out probably a month ago or whenever the Vincent hire was, like, all the improvements those Pelicans players made with him, and in particular Lonzo Ball, who went from like low 30% three-point shooter to like 38% on 7 attempts per game in just a couple of seasons working with Fred. And Lonzo said himself, Fred Vincent saved his career. So, he owes Fred everything because of how he turned his career around with that three-point shot and just the dedication Fred had. So I know that's exciting for fans to hear because the jump shot for Ausar is just absolutely everything. But I think that's going to do it for today's game. Let me know your thoughts, anything I've missed. As I said, it's just Summer League. I wouldn't be getting too up or down. Just take it with a grain of salt. Enjoy it. It's good to have Pistons basketball in July. But until Tuesday, when I'll be back for a show, the Pistons, I believe, play a game that day. So I'll recap that as well as go through some news. So until then, as always, go Pistons.